What's up, everybody? Welcome into a new episode of the Rapala Collegiate Bass Podcast. Just getting back into the office, wrapping up the 20th Association of Collegiate Anglers National Championship, the Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops. Let's jump right into it here. Today's guests are Peyton Harris Dalton Head from number one ranked University of Montevallo, the winners of that event that took place at Lake Hartwell in Anderson, South Carolina. Peyton, real quick, man, almost 2 weeks to the day in which y'all wrapped it up and got that major victory. The emotions, just kind of everything in the days since. Talk about what it means to have been able to accomplish what y'all did.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome. It really still hadn't set in yet. It still doesn't feel real. It's something that him and I worked for. It was kind of a hump we couldn't get over winning an ACA event, and to finally get it done was awesome. And like I said, it still hadn't set in yet. It still doesn't feel real. It's still like a dream. Just something we've worked really hard towards.
Y'all occupied the Ingle Cooler's hot seat for quite some time, as y'all are one of the first teams to weigh in on the final day of tournament competition. And in being in that spot, I had the opportunity to talk to you guys multiple times throughout weigh-in that afternoon. And Dalton, you expressed some nerves, obviously knowing the caliber of the anglers that were out there and the teams that were inside the top five that had to catch somewhere between 18 to 22 pounds to be able to catch you guys. You knew that there was a shot that someone could come up. Kind of recap the ebb and flow, the ups and downs of your nerves from, not knowing if you're going to win to ultimately finishing it off. Kind of recap what it was like that day going through the process of ultimately holding up the trophy.
Yeah, from the start, when we got up to the hot seat and sat there for like 2 hours, that was absolutely awful. That killed my nerves, but it was awesome, man. I mean, we knew there was some like really stiff competition. I mean, we fished against these guys day in, day out. I mean, all season long, and so we weren't too confident we had it until the end. So it was a really awesome experience.
Peyton, something that you mentioned as we were on the stage that day in talking about the potential for the victory was Montevallo pairing had never won an ACA National Championship, the Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops. Talk a little bit about, we'll hit on the School of the Year later on in this conversation, but the history of the program at which Montevallo has established in the last 5 or 6 years, winning the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia for 5 straight times in that run, had not pulled off this victory. To be able to be a part of the team that does that and add to the lure and the history of what Montevallo has accomplished as a bass fishing team, talk about what that meant for you and Dalton.
Yeah, man, it was super special. Just because we had talked about it with William a bunch, just about how there's very few tournaments that somebody on the team hasn't won, and which is surprising, just as often. And I mean, it seems like every other tournament somebody from Montevallo is winning it. So it's just it was crazy to think about that nobody in the history of the program has ever won that event. So to be the first ones to do it feels really special, and I don't know, it's just kind of surreal.
I'm going to work my way backwards a little bit as we talk about the fishing and how y'all went about catching those fish. Dalton, on the final day of tournament competition, you guys weighed in 21.29 pounds on a 5 bass limit. That was the largest stringer brought in during either day of tournament competition. To be able to do that on the final day, which helped to solidify that ultimate victory, talk a little bit about just the significance of that bag that y'all caught on the final day of tournament competition.
We knew it was really huge that we did that, because on day one, we were really slumped because, we felt like we threw the event, because, we had the bites to have that same bag, if not, a pound or two less, but it felt really good to go out there and actually, see what it feels like for it to be your day. And that's exactly what that day was. It was our day through and through. So it was really awesome to see that and see how a plan came together.
Yeah, on the first day of tournament competition, you guys had 1585, improved by almost 6 pounds on day 2 with 2129, taking the 2-day total weight to 3714. So an improvement from day 1 to day 2. Peyton, talk a little bit about the patterns and how y'all targeted those fish, if it changed at all either day, and what exactly it was that y'all were doing to get those bites.
Yeah, we came into the tournament. No, it was a national championship, and we knew we just wanted to catch them the way we wanted to catch them. We wanted to have fun. Nobody really remembers who finished the second in these tournaments, and you just show up to win. And we had a way in mind that we wanted to catch them, and we spent our entire practice trying to figure out how to do it. And in practice, it was tough. We were just catching a lot of spots, and on Lake Hartwell, you have to have largemouth to win. And we didn't know if they were there. We didn't know if they were going to show up. But we were doing your typical just herring fishing stuff, flukes and spooks and just all that typical herring stuff that you would see out offshore, just throwing it for those roaming and pile fish out there. And it was weird. The entire practice, I think we could probably count on one hand how many largemouth we were able to catch. And then it was like a light switch flipped. First day of the tournament, the largemouth just showed up. And unfortunately, day one, we didn't put them in the boat, which really hurt. Like Dalton said, we thought we threw it away. We thought we had lost it because of that. And then day two, it was just our day, and I don't think we lost any meaningful fish for us. It seemed like every big fish we hooked just came into the boat, even when they weren't supposed to. So it was just super special. And like I said, it was weird how the largemouth just showed up when the tournament came.
Dalton, a little bit more here about the Lake Hartwell, and what you liked about it that week. As Peyton described, you are doing most of the standard things to target those fish, which that week we were hearing a lot of. You're looking at your live scope, your forward-facing sonar, you're dropping minnows, you're watching for activity along the surface and along these points and bars that are across the lake, in which, those are bass targeting herring and other bait fish, where you're throwing topwater lures, moving quick action baits through the clear water to try and trigger those strikes. Kind of talk a little bit about the week in terms of how the lake's set up and what you liked about it. Ultimately, you're going to like it because you were able to win a national championship, but kind of talk a little bit about the pattern and how y'all target those fish in terms of the way the lake's set up that particular week.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that fish were coming, honestly, because, we'd check a couple places and then they wouldn't be there, and then we'd check it at a different time and they'd be there. So that's what was really fun about it to me, is that, once you found a spot, you had to know when they were there and how they were set up, even if you wanted to fish for them. So, I mean, that was the puzzle to me that made it, just really fun. But like Peyton said, it was just typical herring fishing. I mean, it was just moving 100 miles an hour all day, not stopping, just go until we saw something we liked. And you can go as fast as you want, but you also got to be super efficient as well. I mean, you got to make really good casts, and it just comes down to really being your day, because, you got a 12-incher fighting for it and you got a 5-pounder fighting for it. So, you can hook the 12-incher and you can hook the 5-pounder. So it's just really got to be your day out there.
And your day it was there on the final day of tournament competition. The Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship, presented by Bass Pro Shops, took place there at Lake Hartwell in Anderson, South Carolina. The no-entry fee tournament, boasting a field of close to 200 teams, almost 400 anglers in total, paying out over $30,000 in prizes and contingencies. For winning the event, you guys received $5,000, also claiming $500 for the TH Marine Atlas Awards, and the $1,000 ACA logo contingency as the highest placing team to have our series logo on your jersey. Peyton, real quick, man, just in summary, that payout and obviously everything that comes with it, the pride of a national championship, this one being the historic 20th for the Association of Collegiate Anglers. Just kind of talk a little bit about the magnitude of everything that went with winning the event in terms of the payout and the prestige.
Yeah, it's the money spins, but man, that hardware lasts forever, and that's really what, if you really want this bad enough, you're not chasing the money, you're chasing the hardware and the accomplishments and the accolades that come with it. And it's awesome to bring the prizes and everything back to the school, but what means most to us is that trophy, and knowing that we were able to conquer a field of the talent that's in college right now is unreal. So knowing that we were able to conquer that and have the hardware to prove it and to show it and remember it by is what really is special to us.
We're talking with Peyton Harris and Dalton Head, winners of the Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops, took place just a couple weeks ago at Lake Hartwell. Members of the University of Montevallo bass fishing team, in which have finished for the 5th straight year number 1 in the Bass Pro Shop School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia. Dalton, I'll get into some of the specifics and how the whole season played out and what y'all accomplished at Lake Hartwell to kind of solidify this, but real quick, we've talked to you guys throughout the season. We've had other teammates on, and the question's been there. What's it going to be like? Can you do it? What do you have to do to accomplish it? It's now done. You guys finished in first place with 40,575 points. You bested second ranked UNA by just over 1,700 points. Talk real quick. The fifth straight title for Montevallo, of which you've been able to be a part of a handful of those your entire time at school. Y'all finished the season ranked number 1. Talk about that real quick.
Yeah, it's been absolutely unreal to be, a part of all these wins that Montevallo has, been a part of. It's kind of unreal. It's like watching all the old guys go and stuff like that, and still be able to pull off a championship when some of the best fishermen I've ever seen has left this program. And that's what means a lot to us, is that we can keep carrying it on and, keep pushing through.
And as we talked about, at Lake Hartwell was where y'all were able to lock it up, mathematically eliminating anybody else that still had some points to earn at various events to finish out that last week or so of the season. At the Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops Triple Points Tournament, you guys had your top 3 placing teams in first, third, and ninth, earning 7,300 points in total. Peyton, you guys obviously contributed being in first. Your other teammates were in third and ninth overall. Seeing the weigh-in progress throughout the day and those points stack up, maybe after day 1, y'all didn't quite have as many teams up near the top exactly where you wanted to be in position, but things started to fall into place on day 2 as more and more Montevallo anglers came across the scales. That right there, dominating performance, the most points of any earned by any school to compete at Lake Hartwell that week. Talk about that achievement in and of itself as it led y'all to the ultimate 5th straight victory.
Yeah, this team is special, man. These guys on this team are insanely good. Like I always say, some of the best competition we have to beat all year is our own teammates. And just when you have guys like that pushing you day in and day out, and we always say, like, we show up to a ramp on a Saturday during school year, just a local tournament, and heck, the best guys that we have to beat out there are the guys on our own team that show up. So it's just, when we're constantly faced day in and day out every weekend of the year with that level of competition, it just really it makes you improve, because you're not going to beat these guys if you don't put in the work. And it just shows throughout the team that this team puts in the work. This team wants it more than anybody else. And just to be able to come to a tournament like this and place 3 teams in the top 10 and just lock it up where mathematically nobody else can beat us was really special.
On top of the execution on the water, the time spent on the water and the practicing, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes in terms of obviously time spent in the classroom, support from the university, your coach leading the program, any series partners, and family support as well out on the road. Dalton, kind of talk about that a little bit and maybe anything that makes what y'all do there at Montevallo go like it does. What propels the engine in terms of behind the scenes that helps lead to y'all's success from those different variables that I just mentioned?
Oh, yeah, definitely William Crawford. William Crawford puts more work into this program than anybody, hands down. And we have some really good professors as well. Like, our professors work with us. They know that we're traveling, and they know it's hard on us, but they're willing to work with us if we get the work done. So that's what's really special, is that we got really good professors, a really great coach, and just a great atmosphere on the university.
Last question here, and we'll wrap up this interview, guys. Peyton, looking back on everything, your time at school, the accomplishments for Montevallo, what kind of lasting impact or legacy, I've probably asked this question every year, and the irony is the story continues to be written, but what are you hoping to have left behind in terms of the whether it's resources for the anglers coming in, the motivation to continue to chase, obviously y'all just won the first ever ACA National Championship tournament. Somebody's going to want to be the second. Talk about a bit of the legacy that yourselves as a 2-angler pairing and the team during your time at school has been able to leave behind for Crawford and the university to also build on going into the future.
Yeah, what's motivated us is wanting to be the best. Dalton and I, we wanted to be one of the best teams to ever come through the program, and that's just been based off seeing the accomplishments of the guys before us, and just using that as a drive, saying I want to get to there. I want to have my name etched in the history of this program. And hopefully when guys come in and they see the accomplishments of us and guys like Easton and Nick and just all the guys that have come through the program, I think, especially for me and I know a bunch of people, that's more of a drive than anything, just to be able to see that their name is etched in history, is etched at the top of one of the best fishing programs in the country. And just that's huge motivation for these guys coming in, just to say, hey, I want to be like that. I want my name etched in history as well.
Huge congratulations to Peyton and Dalton for winning the 20th Collegiate Bass Fishing Championship presented by Bass Pro Shops, as well as their team there at the University of Montevallo for winning their 5th straight title in the Bass Pro Shops School of the Year presented by Abu Garcia. Guys, thanks for taking the time to join us here today, and hope you all have a great rest of your summer.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Welcome to Minnow King. How can I help you?
Everything looks good. I'm friggin' starving, man. Been spawning all morning.
Ugh, TMI, bro. What do you want?
I'll take a Crush City freeloader and gizzard shad.
Anything to drink.
Water.
Pull ahead, please. Welcome to Minnow King.
We're gonna have what he's had.
Yeah, throw me in a net BLT, too.
Pull ahead, please.
Calm down, quit feeding him so much.
Oh, yeah, man, I'm trying to, man. If you
If you overfeed him, he's gonna hide under a log.